Good afternoon and welcome back to Kinsman Field, North Vancouver. It's the League 1BC Men's Division Game of the Week, and do we have an absolute cracker in store for you. Third place Altitude host second place Langley. Both teams can still lift the League 1BC title. Altitude need to win today, win their last game on the 25th of July and get a lot of help elsewhere. For Langley, the math is a lot simpler. 3 wins from their last 3 games, and their first League 1BC Men's Division title would be sitting in their trophy cabinet in their first season in the league. I'm your match commentator, Michael McCall. I'll have the call for you all afternoon long. Thank you for spending your Sunday afternoon watching and supporting League 1BC on YouTube. We'll get straight in to the starting lineup for both of these sides. For Langley, led by head coach Azad Palani, making 3 changes from their last outing, a 1-1 draw at Unity on July 5th. In goal is number 1, Matthias de Souza. Number 3, Axel de Vries. Number 4, Jaden Manetta. Number 5, Martin Ostavari. Number 7, Joel Badger. Number 8, Adriano Matarolo. Number 9, Conor McMillan. Number 10, Amir Gassemi. Number 13, Emmanuel Santo. Number 15, Matthias Lucas. Number 19, Marcus D'Andrea. Matarolo, McMillan and Lucas, the 3 changes for Azad Palani. For Altitude head coach Falibas, it's his 4th season in charge of the side, and he makes just 1 change from the team that dropped 2 points against TSS Rovers in an absolute barn burner Ironworkers derby last Saturday afternoon. In goal for them, as he has been all season long, is number 50, Luca Ortu. The 1 change sees Wiz Shavula coming back into the starting lineup after picking up an injury a couple of games ago. He wears a number 3 jersey. Number 6, Matthew Marshall. Number 7, leading scorer Carson Bushman-Dormand. Number 8, Giordano Pinto. Number 11, Tyrese Mees. Number 17, Oliver Herbert. Number 21, Adriano Carvalero Nunes. Number 22, Nathan Walters. Number 23, Lucas Booth. And number 95, Hockey Tippy. Altitude in the all blue jerseys, going from light blue to dark blue, from jersey to shorts with the white numbers. They'll be going left to right in this first half, and we're in the all white with the classic Admiral front trim. Langley, and they are going to get the action underway, going from right to left. Man in the middle is Mo Masemi. And the action gets underway, and this should be an absolutely fascinating and pulsating encounter. Will there be goals? Will there be a goal fest like we saw between TSS and Altitude a week ago? Or is it going to be defences on top? This is an Altitude side that are the joint 3rd highest scorers, but they do have the best defence. They've only scored 25 times in their 14 games, but they've only conceded 12, so they're averaging less than a goal a game. They've had 8 clean sheets from their 14 games played so far, but they have been kept off the score sheet 4 times, and it was 3 straight 0-0 draws in weeks 2 to 4 that kind of derailed Altitude a little bit at the start of the season. They started to hit their stride, but the games are fast running out for them, and they currently sit in 3rd. They can get to 30 points, but they would need Langley and TSS to drop a lot of points in their remaining games. It's not impossible, it's football. Right now though, Langley know that the League 1BC title is firmly in their own hands, and just now the ball is in the hands of the experienced Jaden Manetta. Whitecaps Academy product. That's a long throw into the box. It's met by Marshall, and he gets his head on it and directs that out for the first corner of the afternoon, just 90 seconds into this one. And Joel Badger is going to be over to take it. Of note for Langley, their leading scorer and the 2nd highest scorer in League 1, Brodie Thomas, on the bench to start this one. So they're going to have to find goals from elsewhere, but there's a lot of players on the pitch that can certainly do that. But this is not an Altitude defence that gives up many. And a good header coming in there from Ostavari, but Luca Ortu more than a match for that. Ortu's played in all 14 games heading into this one. 8 clean sheets to his name as well. Got taken off at the end of 2 of them just to give the backup a little bit of time on the pitch, but he's basically played every minute of every game so far, every meaningful minute. And if you were with us last Saturday for the game of the week between TSS and Altitude, that was an absolutely fantastic game. Altitude led twice, were pegged back twice, but were hanging on a little bit in the end. And it was a draw that could cost both teams a lot, as Tippy, his trademark long throw into the box, headed on by Pinto. Herbert brings it down, spins away. He's shut down quickly. Loose ball picked up by the German. Tippy, not the best delivery, and that one is cleared as well by Langley. Nathan Walters, 1 goal this season for the Barbadian international, and it was a crucial one as well, and a big 1-0 win, as that's a long ball over the top here for Conor McMillan to chase down. Ortu thought about coming, stays on his line. McMillan gets it, cuts it back, and it's a low shot coming in from Badger. It was the right idea, but Ortu more than a match for that one. And Joel Badger, with Thomas being out, is going to be one of the key guys for Langley this afternoon. 4 goals and 2 assists on the year so far for the 20-year-old from Coquitlam. Has been catching the eyes of some in the CPL as well, and he'll want a strong finish to this League 1BC season. We've seen him play with Unity in past seasons and been very good for them as well. Plays his college football, Joel Badger, with Douglas. And Altitude felt they kept the ball in there. Officials disagree, and in fact it's actually going to be a free kick for Langley. In fact, no, it's not. I couldn't see where the free kick had come from, and that's because there wasn't one. In fact, there was. They've taken it back. Didn't see a lot in that, but Langley will get a chance to build this one out of the back. Long ball forward, no one in a white jersey able to get onto that. Langley United have had the benefit of their agreement with Vancouver FC that's seen Vancouver FC loan down players. Now that the roster freezes here, that isn't, my understanding, a possibility for them, but Langley are led by Vancouver FC assistant coach Azad Palani, as Calvarero Nunez not going for that ball. He knew he was in an offside position if he'd motioned towards it, but does get the big block and actually wins aside a corner. The last touch coming off the Langley defender there, and I think that's the best outlet you could have hoped for from that situation. And now it's the chance for Oliver Herbert, their set piece specialist, to whip his first delivery in of the afternoon here in the 6th minute at Kinsman Field. Herbert to the near post, it's flicked to the edge of the box. Mees plays it back out to Herbert, he whips another ball in and it's headed clear again. Altitude can't bring this one down. Calvarero Nunez, and going down in the box was Marshall. No real appeals for anything there. Now Santo gets a chance to bring this out for Langley. He's going to have a good battle with Shavula on that right side this afternoon. That's certainly one to watch out for, and Altitude will be very happy to have Wiz Shavula back in the lineup. He is an Altitude original. Also played his youth soccer with Fally Bass in the Fally Academy as well, winning an under-21 VMSL Cup with that Fally side. Santo gets away and does well not to... Oh, he didn't quite keep it from running behind. I thought he had done just enough to stop that going behind, but linesman right on the spot there and indicating Santo was unable to keep that one for crossing the line. And it's a very warm day here in North Vancouver. Not a cloud in the sky. There'll be a water break in each half as well, so watch out for that one. Thank you for taking the action in wherever you're taking it from this afternoon. Remember, we like to make these broadcasts interactive. If you want to get in touch on X/Twitter, you can do so at AFTN Canada, AFTN Canada. Let us know who you are cheering on, where you're taking the action from, your thoughts on the game or the League 1 BC run-in. If that is not your thing, you can also get a message to me at aftncanada@hotmail.com, and we'll get through your messages over the course of the game. And it should be a fantastic game. There might not be a lot of breathing points in it to get messages over, but we'll get through whatever we can. As Tippy tries the cross-field ball, it runs under Santo there, but Shavula's pass didn't quite connect on that to Mies, and Langley will bring it out. And a big collision there on Santo. And the South Sudanese player is a big figure out there. It takes a lot to knock him off his feet. But the free kick going the way of the visitors. D'Andrea pokes that one forward again to Badger, but Tippy over, shutting that down, and Langley will have to settle for a throw-in. They don't quite have the long throw bombs that come in from Tippy, but Jaden Mineta certainly does have quite a long throw on him. Mineta sends that into the edge of the six. It's headed clear. Mies trying to get it out now. It's a chance for Bushman Dorman to get this one out. He's closed down immediately. Last week's game against TSS, Altitude found himself very much under the caution the first 10 minutes before they really settled and came into the game and dominated big spells off the game for the rest of that first half. This game, very much more on the front foot for Altitude. Langley, though, very dangerous on the counter, and that's something this defence will have to watch. It's the long ball forward, looking to try and play in Bushman Dormand. The 6'2" forward, 7 goals to his name so far this year. Leads Altitude in scoring, as he did last year, where he had 5 goals to his name before going off in July to play pro over in Malta. Back in League 1 this year as he decides what his next move, football-wise, is going to be. And he's going to certainly have turned some heads out there with his good hold-up play and goals. Santo does well to get away, cuts the ball back and plays it into the box, but Ortu quickly off his line to deal with that one. And look at Ortu, another Altitude original. Several players on this Altitude side have been with the team from their very first season in League 1, all the way back in 2022. It's an Altitude side as well that have been progressively getting better season upon season. Last year, a good run towards the end of the season got them into the playoffs, and it got them all the way to the championship game where they lost an absolute cracker 3-2 to TSS. Reminder, no playoffs, no championship game this year. It's just a straight 16-game season, and whoever is top come July 26th will be going on to represent League 1 BC in the 2026 Canadian Championship. As Badger still down from that elbow to his face. It definitely was contact. It was right in front of us here in the commentary booth, but referee Mo Maseni didn't feel there was anything in that. Langley might feel a little bit aggrieved by that, I have to say. One of the assistant referees for this one is Theodore Diederichsen. Haven't got the other one because it's not coming through in the app, but the man in the middle is Mo Masini. I've known Mo for quite a few years right now. He's just been getting his first... Oh, a long-range strike. Something from nothing coming in there from Wiz Shavula. Yeah, the man in the middle, Mo Maseni, getting his progression this year, getting his first games in the Canadian Premier League. He's called one in the middle, being a fourth official for a couple of other games as well, and that's what this league is all about. It's for providing opportunities for players, for coaches, for officials as well to move up in the game. Lucas Booth battling away on the far side as well, and eventually winning a free kick for his trouble, and that will let Altitude send all their big bodies forward again, as Oliver Herbert will try and whip in another free kick here. Tippy, Marshall, Bushman Dormand will look to get on the edge of this. Comes to Booth at the near post, and he just can't bring it down with his outstretched leg, and that will run all the way through to Matheus de Souza. He quickly sees the opportunity to get that up the field as Walters couldn't get that ball headed back to Ortu. McMillan nipping at his heels there, and the ball just not coming down for big Nathan Walters. Talking to Matheus de Souza, talking about opportunities in this league as well. Goalkeeper shortage at Vancouver FC with their backup keeper going away with Columbia under-17 duty. So Matheus de Souza called up to the CPL as Callum Irvin's understudy, and that's a great opportunity to learn and be involved in the CPL for de Souza, the 19-year-old from Surrey. Came through the Whitecaps system, won a 2023 championship with the Whitecaps, is going to be heading off to the Fraser Valley Cascades for his first college season this coming fall. He's already won one championship this season, de Souza, with Fraser Valley Soccer League winter champions Aries, but he kept 3 clean sheets, and he'd love to win a League 1 BC title, but now it's having to defend here as Mies' cross way too close to the big de Souza. This is a game that, with 2 good defences, you wouldn't be surprised if it was 0-0 as Badger in the wars again. Altitude scouting report clearly the same as mine, which is Badger is one of the big danger men on this Langley side for this afternoon from the starting 11. He's been getting a lot of attention in the last few minutes. Yeah, as I was just saying there, it'd be surprising if this was 0-0, but it is 2 very good defences. But there's a lot of firepower on both these teams as well. But it's trying to find the breakthrough, and that has been the trouble that Altitude have had in some games. I've mentioned they've been kept off the score sheet 4 times. Not the same problem for Langley, who have scored in all 13 of their matches so far. I think they might be the only team in the men's side in League 1 that have achieved that feat. Oh, that's brought down brilliantly by Santo, and the deflection! It comes off Marshall, and it nestles in the bottom corner for Langley, and 16 minutes in, an element of fortune to it, but Langley have the 1-0 lead here. Emmanuel Santo will probably get the credit for the goal, but the deflection did come off the shins of Marshall. He didn't know anything about it, but Langley have the lead, and it was brilliantly brought down from Santo to start with. And if that one holds for him, that will be his 6th goal of the campaign. And the South Sudanese players been lively out wide today, and Altitude have it all to do as they trail in this one. Langley at home to Kamloops next Saturday afternoon before rounding things off the final Saturday of the season up at Thunderbird Stadium against Whitecaps Academy. 3 wins including today, and no one can catch them for the title. But Altitude now having to play chase game, and most of Altitude's games this season, they have been in the lead. They've not had to fight back too often. They have been the better team through the first little spell of this. And Badger again in the wars, as that might be a last warning for Marshall for the challenge. And the first yellow card is actually going the way of Mateus de Souza for dissent, clearly saying something to referee Masseni about that tackle on Badger, who has been on the wrong end of 3 hard challenges over the last 5-10 minutes. And the keeper just standing up for Badger there, but picking up a yellow card. So he's going to have to watch himself, especially if he's trying to run down the clock for any time wasting as this game goes on. Good challenge there from Bushman Dormand. Not giving Mineta any time to think on the ball. Badger now gets the ball out wide, powers into the box, cuts it across goal dangerously, but Shavula's there to whip that one away. Comes back in though, Santo now. He gets that taken off his foot. And this time the decision goes Altitude's way as Lucas Booth sent crashing to the ground. Herbert spinning away, but the challenge getting given against Matarolo there. And Langley are going to get a free kick, and that'll give them a little bit of respite at the back and get a chance to break things up here. Probably have a water break in about 5-6 minutes or so. Around the 25th minute mark, I've been told. As that was brought down well by Lucas, he just couldn't keep hold of the ball, and that pass forward to Mies comes to nothing. Tyrese Mies, the South African, in a rich vein of form the last few weeks. He's got 5 goals to his name, and most of them have come in recent matches. As it's getting a little bit stop-start out there, some cheap fouls getting given away by both sides. And that'll suit Langley right down to the ground just now as they get a chance to regroup defensively. Langley have been so good this year when they've had the lead. They won the first meeting of these two teams back in May, 2-0 out at Willoughby. Having to defend here as it comes to Bushman Dormand! And Bushman Dormand finds his 8th of the season to head Altitude back level in the 21st minute. A pinpoint cross in from the left, and Bushman Dormand rising above everyone. In off the bar, nothing De Souza could do about that, and Altitude have themselves back level. It's Altitude 1, Langley 1, and it's an 8th of the year for Carson Bushman Dormand. That was an absolute pinpoint delivery in from the left, and above 2 players, Bushman Dormand rising, meeting it superbly, and there was nothing De Souza could do to keep that out. The bar almost kept it out, but it bounced in and over, and it's game very much back on here at Kinsman Field. Langley's lead lasted just 5 minutes. Tippy, another one of his long throws forward, and that goal, no less than that, which is probably deserved for their play. They've been the better team so far, and you wondered how they would respond to going down to that early goal, and they've responded superbly here. As I spoke about, they could still win the title, and as long as it's mathematically possible for them, they're going to fight to the very end. As Shavula pounces on that loose ball, just overhits it though, and Ostavari is back to knock that back to his keeper. D'Souza's kick out looking to try and get D'Andrea, but can't get kept in by McMillan. Calvarero Nunes looking for the free kick. Tippy stealing a few yards there from the throw-in. And Pinto, a nice shoulder-to-shoulder challenge there, winning it back for Altitude. Shavula now. Walters with a long ball forward and going down in the box and points to the spot. It's going to be a penalty and a yellow card as well for Langley. Axel de Vries, he's had a great season defensively for Langley, sends Calvarero Nunes crashing to the deck in the challenge there. The long ball forward from Nathan Walters. And this is a chance for Altitude to completely turn this one around. And it's going to be Tyrese Mees that takes this one. I thought it was going to be Bushman Dorman. We've seen him take a penalty earlier this year, but instead it's the South African Mees that's going to stand over this one. Past the midway point of the first half. It's Mees against D'Souza. The big Langley keeper is a good penalty stopper. Mees steps up the little star step and it takes a touch off D'Souza on the way through, but it's in. Altitude have turned this game completely around in the 25th minute. It's Altitude 2, Langley 1, Tyrese Mees from the spot, and it's a 6th of the season for the South African. And Langley have stormed back in style to take the lead, and it's now. So Altitude have stormed back in style to take the lead, and it's all to do now for Langley. If Langley drop any points in this game, it's advantage TSS Rovers with 2 games to go, because it would be firmly in their hands for Langley to keep control of their own destiny. They need all 3 this afternoon, but there's still a lot of football to be played this season, and there's still a lot of football to be played in this game. As De Vries making way after picking up that yellow card and giving away the penalty for Langley. So the first substitution coming in the 26th minute. Didn't see the ref board, so we'll bring you who that is coming on very shortly. And it's Sahai Williams that is on, the number 16 for Langley, another Vancouver Whitecaps Academy product. Williams, his first year with Langley, naturally, with that being their first year in the league, but did play with the Whitecaps last year. As Calvarero Nunes sends that in for Mees, and he has a swipe at that, and that was a chance for a third for Altitude there. And Mees will be seeing that one back in his sleep if this game doesn't end as a win for the North Shore side. Just doing a little bit too much though was Gassemi there, and as he overrun it, just goes through a little bit with a challenge as well. So it's Sahai Williams, as I was mentioning. Saw him last year with Whitecaps Academies with the Whitecaps from 2019 to 2024. featured as an unused sub for WFC2 a couple of times as well. And he's just coming off his rookie NCAA season with Omaha Mavericks. 17 games under his belt for them, 14 of them starts in his rookie season, which is quite tremendous for Williams. And he was a player that really impressed me last year for the Whitecaps, as that's headed on to Mies. Mies, and again it's off the bar. Almost a second for the South African. And Altitude are running rampant right now, and this Langley defence is struggling to cope with them. They're in the ascendancy. They have got their mojo, and they are putting Langley to the sword right now. Langley need to regroup and get back to not so much what they were doing earlier this game, as Badger again on the wrong end of the challenge. And you can probably hear the Langley fans to my right not happy with some of Momosene's decisions in the first 28 minutes of this one. Badger has very much been the centre of attention for some altitude tackles. But let's just revisit that chance for Mies. That's two good chances for Mies to get his second and Altitude's third of the game in the last couple of minutes. Will the North Shore side come to rue those missed opportunities? McMillan lofts that one in. It's head tennis right now in the box. No one can get it clear. Walters eventually gets it out. Ostavari brings it down, but a little nudge in the back, and this is going to bring up a dangerous free kick for Langley United. It's maybe a little bit far out to go for goal. Gasemi does have a nice strike on him. I've watched him hit set pieces for UBC. Do feel this is maybe a little bit too far for him. That said though, it's all about possibly the second ball if R2 does spill it here. We're looking at about 30 yards out. Three-man wall for Altitude. Mies waiting to pounce just off that wall as well. Gasemi steps up, does get it past the wall, and it's right on target, but R2 holding on to that one. No spillages there, no second balls for Langley to pounce onto. And as the half-hour mark approaches here at Kinsman Field, Langley hold the 2-1 advantage. R2's big kick forward, looking for Mies there. Ostavari though, again, winning the ball. He's had a good showing back there as Mateen Ostavari. 23-year-old Iranian. Has played over in Iran with Istigial and has been very strong in the back line for Langley and a key player. A lot is made of the Langley attack as Badger is now on the attack. Touch outside to DeAndrea. Cuts inside and he's sent tumbling to the deck, and it's going to bring up another free kick opportunity here for Langley. Carvalero Nunes with a challenge, and he must be on the last warning now. It's a couple of free kicks given away from Carvalero Nunes. Gasemi once again on free kick duty. It's a four-man wall this time, lined up by R2. The wall defending that top left corner. Can R2 get the curler over the wall into that top corner? Gasemi steps up, strikes it, gets way too much on that, and that's just high and behind. And that will bring up our first water break of the match. 32 minutes gone in this one. It's been hot. It's been pulsating. There's been 3 goals. Altitude leading by 2-1. I'll take this opportunity for a little water break myself, and we'll be back with the action soon. The water break is over. The action will get back underway soon. If you haven't been with us for the first 33 minutes of this one, where have you been? You've missed a cracker. There's been 3 goals, and you can tell that it's 2 top teams battling it out with so much on the line. As I don't know if the camera picked that up there from Hockey Tippy, just telling some of the more chippier Langley fans in the crowd to just be a little bit quiet out there. I'm just going to cover my arms at the moment because I'm getting burnt to shreds out here. Even though I am under the tent, the sun just seems to want to keep moving and catch this paley-wally Scottish skin as the action gets underway with a look at R2. Goal kick, 11 minutes of the first half remaining. Altitude have edged the play, edged the possession, probably deserved to be in this 2-1 lead. Centre-back Tippy staying up the field. And it'll go all the way back to his partner, Nathan Walters. Altitude moving the ball around nicely there as Calvero Nunes gets the return pass from Bushman Dormand. Dangerous ball whipped in at pace across the face of the goal. Altitude were looking for the corner, but the decision goes the way of Langley, and it's going to be a goal kick. Big shout out, as always, to Orlando Walters, who always gets in touch during the broadcast of the Altitude games, cheering on his nephew Nathan all the way over in England. Congratulating Altitude ladies team as well on their first ever League 1BC Women's Division title. I hope you watched that one earlier. And he says, the barn burner returns. It certainly does. Nathan Walters' uncle Orlando always taking the action in, no matter how late it is over in the UK. Strong supporter of his nephew, strong supporter of League 1BC, and thank you to everyone that's watching this stream this afternoon. If you want to get in touch, you can do so just like Orlando on Twitter at AFTN Canada, AFTN Canada, or AFTN Canada at hotmail.com. And how can you not be enjoying this one? Bushman Dormand chests it down to Mies. And he tries to give the return pass. Him and Bushman Dormand not quite on the same page there. But good defensive recovery there from Bushman Dormand to get an important block in. And the ball will be on the shade on the far side, which I'm sure as many players as possible would love to stay in the shade over there. When I did the broadcasts here in the first 2 years of League One with Altitude, that is where we had the broadcast position, which I loved. Nice and shady, there was the wind. I'll just complain now, because it's hot. As Bushman Dormand wins a corner for a side, and that's going to give Oliver Herbert another chance to whip in one of his trademark dangerous deliveries. It was a cross in from the left that led to Altitude's first, their second coming from the spot. They're pushing for a third one here. Herbert on corner kick duty. High delivery to the near post to Souza off his line, showing all 6'4" of those inches to collect it, and quickly sparks an attack here. And it's Matthias Lucas. He's getting tugged back by Marshall, and that's going to bring out the yellow card. Marshall, another player, I think, that was probably on his last warning after some challenges early in the game, so he's going to have to watch himself for the rest of this one. De Vries and De Souza on yellows for Langley. De Vries substituted shortly after, picking his one up. It's not Matthew Marshall's first rodeo. He's been on early yellow cards before in League One and been able to see the games through, so he'll know how to play this one. Another Altitude original, Matthew Marshall. His 4th year in the league with the North Vancouver side. And just don't take no chances. They will just kick that ball high into touch into the trees. Mineta now. Chance for another throw. Another long one sent in to the near post. It's flicked on by Ghassemi, but it's cleared by Altitude. Big tackle coming in on Bushman-Dorman, but Langley, I thought, had reacted better to get that, but Altitude mopped that up and win it back nicely. It's a high up and under here for Lucas Booth to chase down. D'Souza out and just taking no chances there. And Lucas Booth encouraging his teammates as they push to look for a third here. A third would make this very, very difficult for Langley. Right now, as long as it's a one-goal game, Langley's still very much in this one. And a lot on the line for the Fraser Valley side as well. Just now, though, they're going to have to defend another long tippy throw. That's another rocket into the box, and they'll take no chances with that at the back, and Ostavari will head that one out. Another corner kick opportunity here for the home side. And once again, it's Oliver Herbert that's going to be over on corner kick duty. All the big bodies up for Altitude. It's going to be an outswinger, this one from Herbert. To the edge of the 6-yard box, and it's met superbly by Bushman-Dorman, but he can't get a clean connection on it. He rolls so well to get on the end of that. Altitude though keeping it alive, and the long range dipper coming in, and that's not going to trouble Matthias D'Souza. And it's high and over the Langley bar, and the visitors will breathe a sigh of relief and try and regroup and get something going themselves. D'Souza telling folk to get forward there, plays it out in the end to D'Andrea. Marcus D'Andrea really impressed me when he was playing with Rivers last year, making the switch to Langley this year for their first season in the league, and Langley just keen to get on with it. And I mentioned Carvalero Nunes was on a last warning, and that's both him and Marshall now picking up the yellow card, and you've got to say that was coming for both of them, and both are going to have to watch. They've kind of been the guys putting themselves about a little bit in the first half. We'll see if Alibas changes those tactics up and has a couple of other players take on that role for the second. Mineta, diagonal ball looking for Santo. Shavula was trying to let that run out, but does well to keep it in the end, and Altitude get the clearance. It's only as far though as Williams. Fakes one way, goes the other, keeps hold of the ball for Langley. Up the wing now for McMillan. Williams, good delivery but headed out. Ghassemi now at the edge of the box, twisting, turning, making room for the shot, going for the far corner. And Santo needed to slide in to get on the end of that. That was a gilt-edged opportunity for Langley that went a big, and it was good work by Ghassemi to make room for the shot. And big Emmanuel Santo, he got the first goal of this game. He needed to use all his height and slide in at the back post there, but it trickles by, and Altitude survive again. It's still 2-1 into the last 3 minutes now. There'll be a little bit of stoppage time to come for the water break and the penalty. Badger brings it down. It's played forward, looking for Lucas. Thought that might land on our commentary tent, but it's gone over the trees and it's out the back. Altitude won't be in any major hurry to get this one back. So Langley having to chase it down themselves. Jaden Mineta. Graduated after his 4 years at Seattle Redhawks. And this is his 4th year in League 1BC, the first 3 playing with Vancouver Whitecaps. Lifting a title with them in 2023. Badger now. Nice ball out here to McMillan. He's got a bit of time here to try and pick out the cross. Shut down though by Tippy. Has to play it back to D'Andrea. He sends a good delivery into the head of Santo. And a brilliant save from Ortu. Tips that one over. And almost a second for Langley. Almost a second for Santo. But can't find a way past big Luca Ortu. And that was a great delivery in from Marcus D'Andrea as well. Langley knocking on the door in the closing minutes of the first half here. They would love to get in at the break on level terms. D'Andrea, just a good delivery, but not attacked by anyone in a white jersey. And in the end, Bushman Dortmund will just clear that up the field. D'Andrea out to Ostavari. Williams up the wing for Badger, who again sent crashing to the deck. Langley not wasting any time and getting back on with it. Ball out to Lucas. It was Lucas that scored the crucial equaliser in Langley's last outing, a 1-0 draw at Cloverdale. They trailed going into the second half of that one. Probably should have come away with all 3 points. They pushed hard to try and get it. As we get a minimum of 3 minutes indicated by the fourth official. Manetta, another long throw. It's headed out by Tippy. Lucas Booth now will slow things down. Plays it forward to Mies. He'll just track back. Booth shielding that superbly under D'Andrea and going. An audacious attempt there. He saw D'Souza off his line, didn't quite get the height on it, I think he was wanting, or the power, and it's well wide in the end, but a nice idea from Lucas Booth there, whose hold-up play was absolutely superb. D'Andrea now brings it forward for Langley. Skips past Calvalero Nunes and skips past Tippy, but sliding in. The second attempt is Calvalero Nunes. And he has to watch with his tackles being on that yellow card. He has to time them right, which is why I think he let the first one go without too much of a nudge. But timed that one well. It is out though for a Langley corner in first half stoppage time. Second minute off the 3. Joel Badger over to take this one. He's got 2 assists on the year so far. He would dearly love to get a third one from this corner. In swinger to the near post. It's headed up high by Shavula. Altitude looking to get it out. Mies just hesitating a little bit. But Lucas Booth again back. Putting in the defensive work to get a big boot on that and just clear it up the field. Shavula taking no chances. We'll put that into touch. Langley staying strong in the last minute of the 3 allocated in stoppage time here. It's another long Manetta throw, looking to try and get flicked on, but only finding Hauke Tippy, and now Altitude will bring it out. Will they get one last chance in this half? Mies not too attack minded there, just wants to hold onto the ball, make sure his side get in with that lead. Altitude though, quickly their bench there. Azad Palani just wanting them to get onto that throw in, and that's a sensible foul, an unlucky one, but a dangerous one as well for a man on a yellow card. He's lucky that that didn't look intentional and was just a little bit of the quick-footed play from McMillan that brought up that. But Langley are going to get one last chance here at the end of first half stoppage time to try and find the equaliser. It would make Azad Palani's half-time team talk a little bit different if they can go in at least on level terms. And just some treatment for Emmanuel Santo, who went down behind the play there, is delaying this free kick to be taken. Santo with the opening goal of the game. Feels so long ago in the 16th minute. Altitude storming back. Carson Bushman Dormand levelling it up, heading home in the 21st, 4 minutes later. The comeback was complete. Altitude taking the lead from the spot. Tyrone Mees, that's where we stand as Langley, with what will surely be the last kick of the first half here, get a free kick to the right of the box. It's Connor McMillan standing over it. Santos still down, getting treatment though. And Langley will be hoping that they can get his big frame up into the box, because they could do with some big bodies to try and get on the end of this delivery. Things stay as they are. Altitude would move level with Langley on 27 points. TSS would be leading the way on 29 with 2 games left to play. TSS are away to Nanaimo, away to Kamloops, their 2 biggest trips of the season, and that looks like the day is done. The race is run for Emmanuel Santo. He's hobbling off there, and we'll wait to see if Azad Palani makes a substitution or waits to the second half as McMillan sends us in. For now though, Langley down 2-10 as they try and find the equaliser. Gassemi, nice cut to the outside, dangerous ball in, comes back to the UBC man, and that is the last action of a pulsating, entertaining first half. It's Altitude 2, Langley 1. You can be sure there's fireworks to come in the second 45 minutes. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a red card as well. So come back, I'm promising you goals. What more could you want? Stick the kettle on, grab your biscuit choice, and join me in 15 minutes for the second half of this one. Welcome back to Kinsman Field, North Vancouver in beautiful British Columbia. Just checked the weather at half time there. It's 29 degrees here on the North Shore, feeling like 35. It is a hot one out there, and it's some hot action on the pitch as well, as Altitude came from a goal behind to lead second place Langley by 2-1. If you went with us for the first half, it was Emmanuel Santo that opened the scoring in the 16th minute for Langley. Carson Bushman Dorman headed home to make it 2-1 for Altitude in the 21st minute, and then 4 minutes later from the spot, Tyrese Mees gave the North Shore lads the lead, and they are going from right to left in this half in all blue outfits. It goes from sky blue to navy blue, from the sky to the sea with the white numbers. Langley in the all-white jerseys and shorts with the historic and iconic Admiral yellow and black trim on the front. I love these jerseys. And I mentioned this in a previous Langley broadcast that I did. This is the exact away jersey. Actually, it might even have been the home one. I think it was the away one, though. The East Fife had, my team in Scotland, back in 1977. I'd like to say that I'm not showing my age and I wasn't around then, but I was. A heavy challenge right off the bat here on Wes Shavula, and that's also been the mark of the first half here. There's been a lot of heavy challenges in it. 4 bookings so far, 2 for each side. And some of the players that need to watch themselves in this second half from Altitude is Matthew Marshall and Adriano Carvalero Nunes. Goalkeeper Mateus de Souza on a yellow card for dissent for chipping at referee Mo Masseni. And it doesn't look like there's too much change for the teams for the second half. One player that is on, you'll have noticed at the end of the first half, Emmanuel Santo limped off, and on for him is Dominic Joseph. He is a player that has been put on to the final Langley roster after the roster freeze from Vancouver FC. And this ball comes out to Boothie. Didn't quite get the bounce he wanted for the shot. Sorry, number 16 was Sahai Joseph. I'll start that again. Number 16 was Sahai Williams that came on. Coming on for Langley was the number 2.
What was that for?
As we get another free kick here. Number 12, Dominic Joseph. I knew Joseph had come on. I thought he was 16. It's 12. They've both got very similar hair, but Dominic Joseph, the only change at half-time, coming on for their goal scorer, Emmanuel Santo. Just now, though, Joseph and his teammates are going to have to defend another set piece, and it's going to be Oliver Herbert that's going to whip this one in. Another good delivery is on to the head of Tippy, but he can't keep that header down. Takes a touch on the Langley defender on the way through, and it's going to be out for a corner, so Herbert will stay out there on set piece duty for this one. The UBC man coming off a very good season up at the Point Grey campus, winning a U Sports men's title in his second year as a UBC Thunderbird. Herbert this time not as good a delivery. It was to the near post looking for Calvarero Nunes. Shavula picks up the loose ball. Comes back to Herbert. Little push in the back. Herbert stays on his feet though. Mees tried to cut to the outside, but Martino Stavari again back doing good defensive shift. He's really impressed me in this one. Amir Mateen Ostavari, 23-year-old Iranian that was playing this past winter season in the Fraser Valley League with champions Aries. Oh, and Brodie Thomas has come on at the half as well. I didn't see his board number go up, but that's a big substitution for Langley, their leading scorer, second leading scorer in League One with 9 goals. And Brodie Thomas maybe only deemed good to go for a half in this one. But they need their first ever signing in club history to put on a show in this second half and get them back into it. And that's going to be the most ridiculous yellow card you're going to see this afternoon, as Matthias Lucas petulantly kicks the ball away and Mo Maseni go into his pocket. Leave it. And that's just such a stupid tackle or booking to get. I get the frustration, but you're just putting yourself in danger for the rest of the game. Just a note as well for people maybe listening in the second half of this one. I moved broadcast positions at half-time to try and get out the sun, so I'm more in beside the Langley supporters for this half. So you might hear some pro-Langley language from the people behind me. McMillan heads that forward for Badger. Nice ball out to Thomas. Powers into the box. It takes a bobble off the bumpy grass and runs behind Luca Ortu's goal. If you haven't seen many games here at Kinsman Field, it's brilliant setting. Always say it's my favourite setting in League 1 BC. It's great to have the grass pitch. With that grass pitch, though, it does come some anomalies, and one of them is the bounce. I was on it between the men and the women's games today as well, and especially on the near side as we're doing the broadcast, so the left side, the altitude are attacking up. There's some areas there that are quite marshy and holy, but the ball comes into Mees, and Tyrese Mees gets the pass from Carson Bushman-Dormand, and the quick counter-attack in the 52nd minute. It's a second of the afternoon for Tyrese Mees, and it's possibly a killer blow for Langley's title chances as well.
Altitude goal, his second of the match,
Tyrese Mees now 7 goals on the season, and that was a first assist of the season as well for Carson Bushman-Dormand, and what a time to get it. The quick counter-attack just carved that Langley defence open, and Altitude now from trailing after 16 minutes have a 2-goal lead, and it's all to do for the new boys from Langley, as we're going to get a few more substitutions coming up here. Couple coming up for Langley. They're going to wait until they've probably got a goal kick, which might come sooner than expected, as that kickoff just comes to nothing. And just waiting for the fourth official to get the board ready for these substitutions. Would not be surprised to see the 2 players on yellow cards making way for Altitude at this point. That would be Marshall and Carvalero Nunes, but we'll see what Fally Bass decides to do down there. Kasemi, little tug on Booth, and that's going to go the decision of Altitude all day long. Now we do get the substitution, so making way is Captain Giordano Pinto for Altitude, and coming on is Idrissa Papa Diop. Also making way is Adriano Carvalero Nunes, and coming on is number 12, Brandon Momotani. And sensible substitution, I think, getting Carvalero Nunes off. As I mentioned in the first half, Matthew Marshall has played a lot of games with a lot of minutes to go on a yellow card, so he knows how to handle himself out there, even though there was maybe a heart in the mouth moment at the end of that first half as the long ball comes into Wishavula, and from a ridiculous angle almost gets a fourth there for Altitude. If you weren't with us as I broke down things at the start and at half-time, basically, as things stood going into this game, TSS were top on 29 points, having played a game extra. If Langley win this afternoon, they take back top spot. A draw sees them sit 1 point behind the Rovers. A defeat, they sit 2 points back with 2 games to go. Langley would have the tiebreaker over TSS if things went down to that stage, but going into this game, the League One title for 2025 and a spot in next year's Canadian Championship was firmly in the hands of Langley with 3 games to go. If this result stands, it goes back into the hands of TSS Rovers as they travel to take on Nanaimo and Kamloops over their last 2 games. Gissemi on free kick duty here. I've got to say the Altitude wall does not look 10 yards back, as the parents behind me agree, but headed out anyway by Tippy. Conor McMillan doing well to win a throw-in for his side over in the shade on the far side. Jaden Manetta will send another long throw into the box here. Langley need to find their goal scoring form that they had earlier in the season. It's been a tough run of results for the Langley boys. Lucas touched inside to Gissemi, and that's neither a cross nor a shot in the end from Amir Gissemi. Langley were in such a good position just a few weeks ago, and then a string of not bad results, but they've been, I mean, it's hard to say Langley are like in a bad run of form, but they're unbeaten in 9 going into this, but it's 3 draws in the last 4 that has kind of undone them a little bit. It's nice work from Tyrese Mees, and he nearly gets the hat trick. He's inches away as that one whizzes past the far post, and that would surely have put the game to bed for Langley, for Altitude, and it would have been the end of the game really for Langley. Yeah, going back to what I was saying there, it's like 3 draws in the last 4 for Langley. They've dropped 6 points in those games. It's big points, so they might be the form team in that they are unbeaten in 9 going into this. And that big win over TSS Rovers on June 7th when they won 3-0, you thought they're going to go on, they're going to lift their first title in their first year. But it's been a bumpy run. They've drawn with Burnaby at home, they've drawn away to Evolution, they drew away to Unity. They do finish with a home game against Kamloops next Saturday. I'll have the call for that. That is going to be our game of the week. And that is a game that if this result stands and TSS get the win in Nanaimo, TSS could win the championship that day if they cannot get all 3 points against Kamloops. I feel it's going to go down to the wire. It's going to go down to the last weekend of the season. TSS on the Friday night are away to Kamloops. On the Saturday, Langley are away to the Whitecaps. And it's going to be a weaker Whitecap side as well, with a lot of their guys away back to college. So still a lot to play for. TSS don't notoriously do well over on the island, and it's a long trip to Kamloops as well, so things not done and dusted just quite yet. And another reminder that Altitude could also still win the title. They're 2 wins to round off the season if they win today, and the card out on Tyrese Mees now for the heavy challenge on Jaden Manetta. But yeah, 2 wins for Altitude today, and on the 25th against Burnaby would see them potentially winning the title, depending if TSS and Langley really I won't use the phrase I was going to use, but really blow it down the stretch. A bed was involved in my original phrase, but we won't go down that route. Feels unlikely, but stranger things have happened in football. Joseph, ball back to Williams. Thomas, it's a lovely chip forward. That's going to be a... Oh, I was convinced that was going to be a penalty as Walters, he didn't know much about it as Badger went down, but it really stopped Badger getting hold of the ball. Look at Ortu out to collect, and I don't know if it was just because Ortu had the ball in his hands by that point, but really thought Momiseni was going to point to the spot there for a penalty.
I think so too. No, he's not going to. No.
And that was probably a hearts in the mouth moment there for Altitude. I mean, Nathan Wattles didn't know anything about that. It was just a slip. And I don't know if it was just the proximity that Ortu had to getting the ball and Badger was away from it or what, but it definitely stopped any attempt from Badger for making any play on that at all. Any refs watching, let me know if it was the right decision. I can tell you that Langley fans behind me do not agree. Shavula picks the loose ball up now on the edge of the box. Tries to make room for the shot, still chasing it down. Marshall does bring it down, but it's given away, and it's a chance now for Thomas to streak forward. It's a beautiful through ball from Thomas just moments earlier that almost led to a chance for Langley. And Thomas definitely adds something when he's on the pitch. I mentioned he was the first signing, was given away, and Bushman Dortmund trying to play in Oliver Herbert there. Altitude in Dreamland just now, and I can tell you other people watching this stream at the moment, I know I've had some messages from Swan Guardians, TSS Rovers. People are also watching this stream, and there's a couple out taking the game in live as well. Even Mahia was here earlier, although part of that was watching his girlfriend Vanessa lift the League 1BC title for Altitude Ladies. And that's a shocking wasted opportunity there for Altitude, and that's going to give Langley the chance to regroup and try and build from the back. A draw wouldn't be the worst result for Langley, wouldn't help them drastically. A defeat also may or may not help them depending on how TSS do in their last two games. The tiebreaker that Langley have might be what they're clinging on to for their hopes now, but they have to win their last two games, and they are not gimmies. Neither are TSS Rovers, with their two biggest trips of the season still to come. Millen now chips in, looking for Badger, and his acrobatic attempt completely missed, and that's going to allow Bushman Dorman now to bring it out here. Tries to poke it forward for Tyrese Mees, who's on a hat-trick. He's had a couple of chances, maybe should already have 3 or 4 goals to his name this afternoon. He'll be happy with the 2 that he's got. Just getting a little bit scrappy out there as the midway point of the second half. Fast approaches here at Kinsman Field. And bench is getting into a little bit not happy with the way some of the decisions are going. Azad Palani, a very animated figure down on the Langley bench. He's had 2 years as assistant at Vancouver FC in the CPL. He's also the assistant technical director at LUSA, Langley United Soccer Association, And it's great to have Langley in League One. I like having these pathways. We've had it over the years from the likes of Altitude with the Fally Academy, now Naima United, Kamloops United branded the way that their youth academies are, and you've got Langley United coming in this season along with Evolution, who is the pipeline for Coquitlam Metroford's academy. Need to get this pathway to the pros running and really ticking here in BC for far too long. The Canadian national team, the top level of the game, has been devoid of players coming from British Columbia back in the 70s and 80s. It was the complete opposite, and we need to get back that way. As Oliver Herbert sends that in, plethora of BC talent out on that pitch this afternoon and throughout League One this season. We'll see how many maybe get some looks from the CPL sides, from the NSL sides as well. There's definitely players in the NSL or players in League One that could go on and play in the NSL. Many, of course, still looking to finish their college diplomas, as the little trip there from Papa Diop brings up his yellow card. He's not long on the pitch. So another player having to watch himself on a yellow card out there. By my reckoning, players still on the pitch: Marshall, Mies and Diop on yellows for Altitude, D'Souza and Lucas on yellows for Langley. Past the midway point now of the second half. All to do for Langley if they're going to take anything from this one. Can they spark it here? McMillan standing over the free kick. Good delivery from C-Mac to the back post. It's headed out by Tippy. The big German has got his head on most of the things that's coming into the box this afternoon. Lucas trying to thread that through for McMillan, but Altitude break it up, and they're going to get a chance to break here. Mies sends that forward. It's going to be a foot race now between Joseph and Herbert. They're both speedy guys. It's maybe asking a lot of Oliver Herbert. Williams now. Touch inside to McMillan. Joseph quickly closed down there by Herbert. The shouts of man on coming a little bit slow there, but it came in the end for Joseph. Nice turn from Lucas to get away from Marshall, who, reminder, he is on a yellow, so he can't put a hard tackle in there. McMillan out to Thomas. Looked like it was maybe just a step offside. Flag stays down. Thomas though penned in at the corner flag. McMillan sends across and it's headed clear. Joseph breaks it up. Williams now, and Brodie Thomas going down theatrically there in the corner of the box. No decision is coming his way. Thomas staying down though and looking in all heaps of pain, and he's been their talismanic forward for them this year. D'Andrea doing superb to win that one back. Thomas back up on his feet. We'll see if he's showing any ill effects, but going for goal. A little bit ambitious there from Joel Badger, and it just skips and bobbles off the bumpy grass and well wide of Luca Ortu's goal. see. There should be, by my scheduling, a second water break coming, possibly at the next stoppage or so. Langley will not want it just now, though, as they'll want to just keep on with this. It was from a return from a water break that led to one of the goals for Altitude. As Tippy just sends a big one up the pitch to Bushman Dormand. He needs to just play a big holding man's game out there just now for the North Shore side. 18 minutes for Langley to find at least 2 goals. Lucas, nice skill, skips past Shavula, skips past Diop. Runs out of room in the end, but plays it out wide. Slip or a tackle there. Thomas asking for the penalty. I mean, it kind of did look like there might have been a challenge on Ghassemi there. I'd need to see that one, but we don't have replays or monitors in the booth here. I'll watch that when I get home. I think Langley might feel a little hard done by that. They haven't had a couple of penalties so far this afternoon. Just now, though, the game being played totally in Altitude's half. Langley pushing hard, trying to get this back to being a 1-goal game. Give themselves some hope. Williams sends that one in, but it's headed clear. And now it's a chance here for Herbert to bring this out. UBC man holds the play up. Still keeps hold of the ball, though. Great play from Oliver Herbert. Waiting for the support to come, and Altitude keep it alive. Now Shavula, he's got space to run here, and he's got Diop to his left. Threads it into the middle though for Mees. Goes for the far corner. Tyrese Mees on the hat-trick, but didn't really get power on that, and that's an easy save for Matthias de Souza in the end. Altitude look like they're maybe going to make another double substitution. In fact, both teams look like they're going to make double substitutions here as we get into the 75th minute. McMillan trying to touch that in, but chasing it down, giving away the foul in the process, and we'll get the substitutions now. And Carson, Bushman, Dormand making way for Altitude. And we're also going to get a water break just now at these substitutions as well, which is just going to make it even more confusing for me when the subs do eventually happen. But Bushman Dormand making way. We'll try and work out who is coming on after this quick water break here at Kinsman Field. Water break over, double substitution for both teams. We'll try and work out who has come on for both, as the Boars never went up as they went off for the water break there. We do know that Carson Bushman Dormand has made way, the number 7, and the scorer of their first goal, and their leading scorer this year with 8 goals. Just behind him though is Tyrese Mees now on 7. Mees still out there. One of the players on for Altitude just now is number 19, Sebastian Gomez. And it's Gomez that's going to get the ball right away, and he brings it down. And Stefan Colbo, the number 18, is the other player that's come out. Breaks for Herbert! What a strike from Oliver Herbert! He hits it on the volley. It beats Mateus de Souza. And a great fourth goal for Altitude and Oliver Herbert. An absolutely fantastic strike for his third goal of the year. And it's Altitude 4, Langley 1. And Altitude, happy bunnies on a day that saw their women's side lift the League 1 BC Women's Division title. They're 4-1 to the good now against second placed Langley. And I tell you who else will be cheering right now is TSS players, coaches, owners and supporters, because this result today puts the 2025 League 1 BC title firmly in TSS Rovers' hands. It's theirs to lose, but there's still a lot of football to be played, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be some more twists and turns along the way. Langley just need to get themselves back to winning ways. This is going to be their first defeat in 10 games. But they've dropped some big points, as I mentioned earlier, from 3 draws in their last 4. That's what's cost them at the top of the table. But Azad Palani's side hold the second tiebreaker over TSS. The first tiebreaker is wins. Second tiebreaker is head-to-head, and Langley would have that over TSS, which is as good as another point. So Langley just have to keep playing their style, get 2 wins in the last 2 matches, and then see how things play out. And Herbert's deserved that goal today. He's been fantastic, and Stephen Colbo using all his height there to keep hold of the ball. Joseph, lovely ball, sprayed out to the left wing. Substitutions for Langley, incidentally. One of them is Shabod Jafari. Shabod Jafari, the 17-year-old. And he's got 1 goal and 3 assists for Langley so far this season. Actually leads the team on 3 assists. Diop trying to chase that down in a foot race with Ostavari. Second substitution incidentally made for Langley at the water break there is Michael Ahabe on for Jaden Mineta. Conor McMillan, the player that made way for Jafari. Ahabe leading the line with Brodie Thomas just now as another pair of substitutions coming for Langley. And Amir Gassemi making way. There's going to be another substitution coming up here for Altitude as well. The ref boards have disappeared on me. Coming on though is number 6, Riku Suga. And the scorer off that fourth goal, Oliver Herbert, making way for Altitude. We'll see who's come on from them in a second as Langley get the action back underway. Jafari twisting, turning, trying to make room for a pass or a shot. Can't get either off, and a highway chasing that one back. Cross coming in there from Siku, but cleared by Altitude. Coming on at that change there was number 10, Nicholas Sinkovic for Altitude. Sinkovic's first appearance of the season, if the app is to be believed, which of course it should be, and you can download it from Android and Apple stores. Look for the League One Canada app. Keep up to date with all the scores, standings and more. As this free kick comes in, Thomas chests it down, gets the shot off, but can only direct it into the side netting.
Substitution for Langley, number 7, Joe Badger, replaced by number 6, Riku Suya.
Joe Badger, one of the players making way for Langley there, along with Amir Ghasemi. And by process of elimination, it's Dylan Lee is going to be the player that came on for Langley, because he's the only sub that hasn't come on yet. The number 21. Langley in where they want to be at this time of the game, even though the scoreboard is not what they want it to say. It would be the most dramatic of comebacks if they can find 3 goals in the last 6 minutes, and stoppage time here feels unlikely against the best defence in League One. 8 clean sheets on the season. They gave up 1 today, but they've been absolutely solid at the back since then. It's that good delivery though. Oh, off the crossbar. It's bouncing about, and an acrobatic kick from Michael Ahabe reduces the deficit to 2. And are we going to be in for some drama late on here? It's 5 minutes to go. Michael Ahabe, bicycle kick, putting that one away. It's his first goal of the L1BC season. His brother David played with Whitecaps Academy as Altitude in discussions with the near side lineswoman. Altitude appealing that one. Momiseni happy with what the lineswoman said. Points to the spot, and it's 4-2 in favour of Altitude. Nathan Walter still pleading his case. Double substitution coming up now for Altitude with Shavula making way. He's had a fantastic game out there at the back, up the wings for Altitude. Also making way, the 2-goal hero, Tyrese Mees. Coming on for Altitude is number 15, who is not actually listed on the app by name, so I can't tell you who that person is. Also coming on is number 20, Ardi Jalili. Well, should do well to keep that one alive. Sinkovic standing on it initially, but then recovering. Chipped forward, but Ostavari back again, doing good defensive play. And I know they've given up 4 goals this afternoon, but it's about this time of the game I like to give my unofficial AFTN players of the game. And for Langley, I'm actually giving it to the big number 5, Amir Mateen Ostavari. Mateen's had a really good outing at the back there, despite Langley giving up the 4 goals.
Okay, shoot it!
Oh, and a chance there for the unnamed player to be on his way through to get a dramatic debut for him, and a big challenge, and the referee bringing out the yellow card. Jalili with a heavy challenge, getting some abuse from the Langley fans to my right and giving them a dirty look as Thomas in the wars. Now that Badger is off the pitch, it's Thomas that does appear to be getting a lot of the attention out there from altitude. Into the final 2 minutes. Can Langley set up a grandstand finale here? Good ball whipped in. It's met well by Thomas, but he can't direct that on target. Jafari with a good free kick whipped in there. We'll keep an eye on the 4th official for how much time is going to get added on in this one. There's been a lot of substitutions. There's been some stoppages for injuries. There's been the water break as well. Wouldn't be surprised to see at least 5 minutes put up by the 4th official. So look at Ortu just slowing things down, getting away with as much as he can before the referee gives him a warning or a yellow card.
Go to the corner! Go to the corner!
Diop out. Oh, just some nervy play by Altitude in the closing minutes here. They've still got a 2-goal lead. They don't need to be going to be doing too much nervy stuff. Sebastian Gomez, the number 19, this afternoon for Altitude. So it's a very high up and under. It's off the shoulder of Colbo. It's one of the biggest players still out there on the pitch just now at 6'3". Can't get his head to it though. And it's a minimum of 6 minutes to get added on here. 6 minutes for Langley to find at least 2 to get something from this game. Don't go anywhere. This is going to be drama right to the end, you feel. Langley throwing everything at Altitude just now. It's a young Altitude side that is out there as well, defending this 2-goal lead. And that just bounces away off the foot of Joseph, and Colbo will just take a little leisurely stroll up the left wing, head to the corner, as Sahai Williams is doing everything he can to try and poke this ball off him and out. But Colbo, fantastic job there from the Altitude sub. Played up at UBC for 3 years, has only played 19 minutes in total, and has mostly been playing for their VMSL second tier side, VUFC Hibernian. Graduated in 2024, so at least finished with a winner's medal in U Sports. Stephen Colbo. Dancing past the tackles, superb there from Jafari, but just does too much in the end. And Diop breaks it up and a little tug at him, and he made sure the referee saw that one. The back arch, the yell, that's going to slow things down, bring up a free kick and run some valuable time off the clock. Altitude just want to keep possession just now. Long ball for Gomez. He needs to hit the corner flag. He thought about going for the cross in, but kept it alive. Colbo, with his experience though, is hitting the corner flag and does even better than that. He wins his side a free kick in the process.
Stand next to him.
This is when you've got younger players on the field, maybe not used to like trying to run down time like that, and that's unforgivable to be offside from a situation like that. But that's how that one played out for Altitude. Langley, fast running out of time, need to get themselves up the field as quick as they can, and they need to do it twice in the closing minutes here. Jagbe knocks that to his right. It's played forward for Thomas. Walters, though, doing enough to put the leading scorer for Langley off there. And Altitude scramble that one clear. Langley still moving the ball about. We've had nearly 3.5 of the 6 that were indicated by the fourth official. Sahai Williams keeps that from running out. Everyone back defending this right now in a blue jersey. Swept in and headed away by Walters. Only as far though as Brodie Thomas. Cuts inside, cuts outside, trying to make room for the shot. Langley tuck it away. I think it was a Jagbe that got a second there. It might have been Rico Sigu. There was just white bodies all over that one. And Langley do make it interesting with 2 minutes left of this one. A point would not help Langley it too much, but a comeback to earn a point would certainly do so much for their momentum and morale going into the last 2 games of the season. Got to say, Altitude have not played these final 6 minutes well. They've not been going to the corner flag when they needed to, and it is, as I mentioned, part of the problem when you do have a number of young players on the pitch. They maybe haven't done that too much. They're maybe just wanting to try and show and impress in their limited time on the pitch. But right now, they're where they want to be. It's a barn burner once again. It was last week. That was 2-2. That one finished. This is 4-3, despite what the scoreboard might say facing me. Into the last 30 seconds of the minimum of 6. Wouldn't be surprised though if Mo Moseni finds a little bit extra to add on for some of the shenanigans that's going on in extra time. And that's just kicked up the field, and Langley just want to get on with this as quick as they can. Ostavari leaves it now for D'Souza. He's going to get it back. That wasted some valuable seconds there for Langley. Ostavari, good chip forward. It's flicked high in the air by Thomas. Thomas trying to bring it down. Blue jerseys all around him. Cute little back heel. Ajagbe gets the shot off. Altitude can't clear it. Jafari. The ball's still loose in the box, and the referee finally blows the whistle. And that was a dramatic ending here at Kinsman Field. It was a stellar comeback by Langley, but it falls just short and it finishes Altitude 4, Langley 3. Altitude move to joint second with Langley in the table on 27 points. Both teams sitting 2 points behind TSS Rovers at the summit. Altitude just have one game to go. TSS go to the island next week to take on Nanaimo. Langley hosting Kamloops at Willoughby, and I'll have the call for that one next Saturday afternoon. You don't want to miss that. It should be an absolute cracker. Thank you for spending your Sunday afternoon with us. If you've been watching this live, if you're watching it on demand, thank you for watching and supporting League 1 BC. I've been Michael McCall. That's been a fantastic game, and we'll catch you at the pitch again soon.